Hi friends, it's Mrs. Mott here again for our music lesson this week. This week I'm going to read for you, or actually we're going to listen to a book being read. And this book today is called Never Play Music Right Next to the Zoo. And this is a very special book because it came with a CD. And so a CD is something, it goes right here, and it has music on it. So you're going to hear the author, who is John Lithgow. He's a famous actor, actually, and he is going to read the book, but not only is he going to read the book, you'll hear some music that goes along with it, so it makes it an extra special treat for us. So we're going to listen to this book, and afterward, you are going to be able to draw for me your favorite instrument that you heard in the zoo. And what I'd even ask you to do is pick your favorite animal and your favorite instrument, and you're going to draw those. So we're going to learn all about the different instruments. But we're also, after the book, I'm going to talk with you just a couple minutes about concert manners, or concert etiquette, and that's the way that you behave or react at a concert. Because when musicians play, or actors, or people giving a speech, we want to make sure that we give them all the respect and all the attention. And so we're going to talk about maybe what our friend over here didn't do during this book, and we're going to talk about that after we listen to the book. So again, this book is called Never Play Music Right Next to the Zoo. And I'll hold it up for you as we listen. So here we go. Some fun raccoons. So again, this is called Never Play Music Right Next to the Zoo. And then I'm going to press play over here. Here we go. Let's listen.
I went to a concert when I was a lad, no older than many of you. I sat with my sister, my mother, my dad, at a band shell right next to the zoo. The soft summer air was so balmy and sweet, and the program was running so long that I found myself falling asleep in my seat, despite all the music and song. All at once the conductor erupted with rage. A band of wild animals was storming the stage. Oh children, remember, whatever you may do, never play music right next to the zoo. They'll burst from their cages, each beast and each bird, desperate to play all the music they've heard. The lions and the elephants, the bears and the raccoons, will steal away the trumpets, the flutes and the bassoons, replace the musicians and chase them away. Then they'll sit in the band shell and play. The monkeys played fiddle, the bison played bass, the percussions were manned by the camel. The yak played the sax until red in the face, a surprisingly musical mammal. The bonobo played oboe, the ferret, the flute, the jackal attacked the bassoon. The hippo had chosen the tuba to toot by the light of the silvery moon. Siberian tigers, Mongolian goats, a superabundance of bestial notes. Oh, children, remember, whatever you may do, never play music right next to the zoo. They'll burst from their cages, each beast and each bird, desperate to play all the music they've heard. The lions and the elephants, the bears and the raccoons, will steal away the trumpets, the flutes and the bassoons, replace the musicians and chase them away. And then they'll sit in the band shell and play. As the animal orchestra filled up the air with chaos, confusion, and clatter, the audience calmly continued to stare as if nothing at all was the matter. I trembled with terror, suppressing a scream while my parents just sat there enraptured. Oh, how I wished it was only a dream and those creatures all safely recaptured. But since, by the minute, I'd grown less afraid, I decided to sit back and watch while they played. They finished, and each put his instrument down, then bowed and descended the stage. Each shed his tuxedo or evening gown and hurried back home to his cage. Then each reminisced, so grateful and glad, so full of contentment and pride. My mother, meanwhile, strolled away with my dad, but my sister remained by my side. She tugged on my sweater and spoke in my ear. "You'd better wake up or we're leaving you here!" Oh, children, remember, whatever you may do, never play music right next to the zoo. They'll burst from their cages, each beast and each bird, desperate to play all the music they've heard. No, never play music right next to the zoo. And pay strict attention to rule number 2. Bear it in mind for the rest of your days. Don't fall asleep when an orchestra plays.
Very fun. So that was Never Play Music Right Next to the Zoo. So that was really special that we got to listen to the CD. I could have just read the words, but we wouldn't have been able to hear all those nice instruments. So, as I mentioned earlier, your job today is going to be to draw and think about what your favorite instruments were. So let's go back through the book and kind of think of some of the instruments you heard in the orchestra. And so here's the conductor, and he's in charge of leading all of the musicians. So they're all going to look at him to know when to play, how fast, how loud. So he's in charge. And let's see what kind of instruments we had in our orchestra. So they're getting ready to play. Here we go. So she has a flute, and she plays really high notes. So that's a flute. And let's see. It said the percussion was played by a camel. A percussion instrument would be a drum or anything you can hit. So that would be something, a drum would be a percussion instrument. And then he's playing a fiddle, and another name for a fiddle is a violin. And then over here it said the yak played the sax. And then this, it says, is the bison. It's kind of like a buffalo type animal. He plays the bass. It's a really big string instrument. So the raccoon took that lady's flute. And we have a bassoon. We have a clarinet over here by this monkey friend. And then the hippo, she's playing a tuba. That's the lowest instrument in an orchestra. Let's see what else we have. The Siberian tiger, he's playing a trombone. It has this slide that goes in or out and in like that. The flamingo is playing a triangle. That's another example of a percussion instrument because it's hit. So if you hit the instrument, it means it's a percussion instrument. And let's see, what else do we have? So she looks like she was playing some sort of saxophone as well over here. This lady was playing a saxophone, and it looks like those goats stole it from her. And those were the instruments of the orchestra, they said. And so what I want you to think about is, what's your favorite instrument? Maybe it's an instrument that wasn't in this book. Maybe you like the trumpet, or maybe you like the sounds of the piano. So you're going to draw that, and you can pick out your favorite animal playing that instrument, because it's kind of funny that way. So one more thing before you get started. It said, the very last thing of this book said, and this is important, it says, don't fall asleep when the orchestra plays. So that's a good example of a good concert manner to have. Oh, there he is real quick, I could show you. That's who wrote the book, and that's who was singing and telling us the story right there. But that's an example of a concert manner. We don't want to fall asleep because, one, I don't know if animals will actually start playing the instruments, but the people up on stage, if they see you sleeping, it might hurt their feelings a little bit, because then they might think that you think it's boring or you don't like what they're doing. And so I want you to stop and think here for a second. What are some other ways we can make sure that the performers on stage, maybe they're singing, maybe they're talking, maybe they're playing an instrument, maybe they're dancing, but how can we let them know that we're listening and we're really being supportive and a good audience? So let's stop and think for a second. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to think of a good way that we could be good audience members. So let's think about it. See if you think of any of the ones I thought of. So if we're in our special auditorium and we're there together as a whole school, we won't want to talk when other people are on stage, because we want to give them our full attention. That, or it could also mess them up. If they hear people talking in the audience, they might forget what they're supposed to be doing and might mess up, and they probably wouldn't like that very much. If you need to get up out of your seat, maybe you need a drink of water or you need to use the restroom, the best time to go is when maybe the audience is clapping or they're taking a break on stage, maybe the curtain closes and then it will open back up. If you're a first or second grader, maybe you'll remember last year when you saw James and the Giant Peach. A good time would be if the audience was clapping or the lights went out or maybe the curtain closed. That's a good time for you to get out if you need to. And then the last one, this is mostly for grown-ups, but if we have phones, maybe you've heard if you go to a movie theater or maybe you've been to, in our school even, that we want to make sure that they don't ring, because if I'm singing a song up on stage and all of a sudden I hear a phone ringing, I'll get very distracted and I might mess up my song. So when we're in an audience, we want to be the most polite audience we can be. We want to make sure that the performer knows that we care about what they're doing and we respect them. So we want to be really, really polite, which I know all of my friends here at ME, you're super good audience members. So you're going to go ahead and your teacher is going to give you the paper and you're going to draw your favorite animal and the instrument you liked the best. Here in a second, it's going to say click play. So after this part, I'm going to ask that your teacher, or if you're listening to this by yourself, you're going to pause it. And then as soon as you're done with that activity, if you have some time left, it'll say press play to play the color game. And so if you have enough time after you've finished your drawing, or maybe later in the day, you can play the color game. So for anybody who's forgotten, or maybe for my new friends, particularly my kindergarten friends that aren't with me during the day, the color game is a song that I sing. And if I call a color that you're wearing, so for instance, my stripes are blue today, I'd sing blue, blue is color I see. If you're wearing blue, then show it to me. Stand up, and then you turn around. Show me your blue, and then sit down. And you sit right back down. So here in a moment, I've included that video, so you're going to want to pause, make your drawing, and if you have time or if you want to, you can play the color game. And if you press play again, it'll continue on into the color game. So I can't wait to hear about the instruments and the animals that you like, and I hope you have a terrific day.